The Four-Legged Girl from Texas, the true tale of Josephine Myrtle Corbin. Have you ever heard the legend of the girl born with 4 legs? Not in myth, not in metaphor, but flesh and bone. Tonight, we go deep into the life of Josephine Myrtle Corbin, a woman whose very existence challenged everything the 19th century thought it knew about human anatomy, medicine, and morality. Born in 1868 in Lincoln County, Tennessee, Josephine Myrtle Corbin arrived into this world with a condition so rare, it has only been documented a handful of times in all of recorded history. She was a dipygus twin, conjoined at the pelvis. That meant she had 2 separate pelvises, each with a pair of legs. 4 legs in total, 2 fully formed, 2 smaller, weaker ones, nestled between. But this wasn't the result of a curse or a divine punishment, as some would have whispered in gas-lit parlors at the time. It was a scientific anomaly. One fetus had attempted to split in utero and failed to separate fully, a kind of incomplete twinning. She wasn't the product of superstition. She was the product of biology, but that didn't stop society from treating her as something inhuman. By the age of 13, Josephine's father had introduced her to the sideshow circuit. Her natural charm, red hair, and delicate southern accent drew people in. But it was her legs, the second set of limbs that dangled oddly beneath her skirts, that made the audience gasp. They called her the Four-Legged Girl from Texas. Posters boasted, half a woman, half a wonder. People paid good money, sometimes entire days' wages, just to catch a glimpse. But what they saw wasn't just spectacle, it was survival. Myrtle, as she preferred to be called, used her condition to provide for her family. What choice did she really have? Doctors marveled. Scientists speculated. One even noted in a medical journal that her 2 separate pelvises also included duplicated organs, a detail the tabloids of the time scandalized to no end. Some claimed she could become pregnant in both wombs. Others whispered of dual desires, of twin impulses housed in one fragile body. What was fact? What was sensationalism? We may never know. What we do know is this: Myrtle was no monster. She was a woman, intelligent, shy, and surprisingly traditional. At the height of her fame, she chose love over spectacle. At just 19, she married a local doctor named James Clinton Bicknell. The medical world scoffed. She'll never bear children, they claimed. It's not possible. But Myrtle did the impossible. She gave birth to 5 children. And despite the complications of her anatomy, 3 survived into adulthood. Let that settle in. A woman with duplicated reproductive organs, with 4 legs and a body few could comprehend, became a mother. Again and again. Yet the world never let her forget what she was. A curiosity. A freak. Even after retiring from show business, people came knocking. When Myrtle passed away in 1928 from a streptococcal skin infection, the curiosity didn't end. In fact, it escalated. A few days after her burial, grave robbers attempted to steal her body. Word had spread to universities and collectors alike, some willing to pay thousands just to possess the remains of the four-legged girl. Her family was forced to take drastic measures. They exhumed her body, placed it in a locked, lead-lined casket, and reburied her beneath a thick layer of concrete to protect her in death from the same exploitation she endured in life. And yet, even now, nearly a century later, Myrtle Corbin is still whispered about in the odd corners of the internet. Medical students debate her case. Paranormal channels sensationalize her photos. Artists sketch her silhouette without knowing her name. But here, on History of Abnormal, we tell her story as it should be told, with honesty, with reverence, and with awe. She was more than a body. She was a woman who navigated love, motherhood, and a hostile world, all while being literally divided at the waist. Her story forces us to confront how we define normal and what we consider human. So next time someone speaks of anomalies, of abnormalities, remember Myrtle. Remember the girl who didn't just survive her difference, she turned it into legacy. Because the most abnormal thing about Myrtle Corbin wasn't her legs, it was her strength. Have you heard the story of Frank Three-Legged Lentini? He had 2 penises, 3 legs, and 4 feet. Click above for the story.